So McDonald's has an AI hiring tool. There's their AI-powered hiring platform is called McHire, because of course it's called McHire. And recently, security researchers Ian Carroll and Sam Curry found a pretty significant vulnerability. I'm reading from a CSO Online article, but we're going to jump over to Ian's blog in a second. They found a default admin login and an insecure direct object reference in an internal API that allowed access to applicants' chat histories with Olivia, McHire's automated recruiter bot. So let's go ahead and break down what that is for the less techie. Okay. Let's take the jargon out of that. He actually has an amazing article, Ian Carroll's blog, we'll link to, where he talks about the discovery process of this. They talk about what the platform is, and if you're watching the video, I've got the screenshots. It's all broken up with great screenshots. It's a great bug report here. And reading directly from it. During a cursory security review of a few hours, we identified two serious issues. The McHire administration interface for restaurant owners accepted the default credentials 123456, 123456. Oops. Username and password were both 123456. And when they got in, they found an insecure direct object reference on an internal API that allowed them to access any contexts and chats they wanted. What that was an ID that would link to like each client's information, and they found that it was just linearly incremented, so they could just count back
it's
down.
Just sequential.
Yep.
That sounds really old school web.
It really is, man. It's it's such an easy way that they got caught out. They started out by applying for a job, just using it to see what it was like, to poke through it. There's apparently a personality test it puts you through that is powered by Tradeify.com, where they were asked if phrases like, quote, enjoys overtime are either me or not me, which is like the most dystopian Gen Z millennial interface you could ever think of.
Right.
Enjoys overtime is so me. So they said that was all pretty strange. They tried to do prompt injections on the Olivia chatbot, but it was locked down pretty tight. And then they found that restaurant owners could log in to view applicants at mchire.com/sign-in. And it tries to force SSO, single sign-on for McDonald's. There's a smaller link for Paradox team members that caught their eye. When you go to those SSO things at the bottom and little text, it'll be like, for whatever office
that's
user.
whatever third-party service they had contracted to build the framework, I guess.
Yep, this Paradox AI is that company. And so they went in and they say, without much thought, we entered 123456 as the username and the password, and we're surprised to see that they immediately made it in. And then they were able to see the user administration dashboard. Again, got screenshots going by here. They decided to...
horrible.
Yeah, it's really bad. So they poked around a bit. It's got what you'd expect, like a standard chat interface where you can see the different candidates and stuff. And while viewing that, they noticed an interesting API call to get candidate information, which was, they've got it listed. I'm not going to read it because it's not going to make sense. The main parameter of the request that got sent out was the lead ID of the chat, which for their test applicant was 641857742. And so they're like, oh, well, what if we try 641857741?
That's exactly my thought.
Yep.
That's what I used to do in old school, URL hacking, right? Where everything would get passed in the URL bar, and you'd see a user ID number or an order number, and then you'd go, oh, okay, this is letting me view my order. What if I just change the order number to another one? And then, boom, I've got somebody else's order on my screen.
Yep, exactly.
That is so lame that still is working on those things.
Yeah. It's such a basic mistake, and it gets worse. They did that. They decremented it, immediately got personal identifiable information from another McDonald's applicant. That's what PII stands for, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Personally identifiable information. Yep.
Oh, sure. You can say it the first try. So they found that from the next applicant. They kept decrementing through it and found that the API allowed them to access every chat interaction that has ever applied for a job at McDonald's. The information returned included names, email addresses, phone numbers, addresses, candidacy state, and every state change / form input the candidate had submitted, an auth token to log into the consumer UI as that user, leaking their raw chat messages and presumably other information. And they said they immediately began disclosure of this issue once they realized the potential impact, but they are having a hard time finding any publicly available contacts. The Paradox AI security page just says that we do not have to worry about security. And look at that. I went to their page too.
That's a paradox.
We worry about security, so you don't have to.
No.
No, dude.
That sucks.
Yeah. So Not a great look, right? And that's basically the entirety of the story here. Just a simple,
I think they didn't worry about security. Yeah, like neither party worried about security.
Yeah. To tell Paradox's other side of the story, actually, it's probably worth mentioning. Following back to the CSO Online article, following disclosure on June 30th, 2025, Paradox AI and McDonald's acknowledged the vulnerability within the hour. They say by July 1st, so one day later, the default credentials were disabled, the endpoint was secured. Paradox AI pledged to conduct further security audits, and they said, we are confident that based on our records, this test account was not accessed by any third party other than the security researchers. At no point was candidate information leaked online or made publicly available. 5 candidates in total had information viewed because of this incident, and it was only viewed by the security researchers. This incident impacted one organization. No other Paradox clients were impacted. I'm assuming they're basing that off logs they have, and so they can probably say that with some authority, but there's part of me that thinks...
I don't know how much I would just like take that at face value.
Exactly.
They don't know what they don't know.
Yeah, exactly. They left 123456 as an active admin password.
Yeah, they're not the most trustworthy narrative, and I don't think that they would intentionally lie about that. I just think that they have no idea what they're doing, and they're saying that they're a security advocate for people, and no,
it's
and
embarrassing.
I hate to be that harsh, but that is just totally McStupid that would happen, because every company, especially you get to the scale of McDonald's, one of the duties that you have is to like threat test and red team those kinds of environments before they get unleashed to the world.
Yeah.
And the fact that, and I know Sam, he's a really good guy, well known, well loved in the industry. I don't know Ian personally.
You know Sam, the security researcher.
Yeah.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, I know Sam Curry. I mean, he had no ill intent in that, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
But that kind of discovery is one of those things that when you look as a seasoned security researcher, like your gut falls out because, I mean, yeah, there's the thrill of going, oh, man, I can't believe I did this. But at the same time, it's like, oh, man,
I can't believe
in the world is this the way that it is? And I'm sure that, like, as they were going through that, there's both of those things of like, this is kind of fun, interesting, and cool, but oh my God, what does this mean? You
want to know what's even worse, possibly? I'm not as up on what these certifications mean, but I scrolled a little bit further on Paradox's security page, and they claim to be SOC 2 Type 2 compliant, as well as ISO 27001. I don't know what ISO 27001 is.
That means that they've had auditors that say that they're secure enough to do business with very large organizations that require a certain amount of security and regulatory scrutiny.
And those are, I had thought, fairly reputable, right? Did they just, miss something?
Yeah, I mean, those certifications, I mean, a lot of those are derived by filling out surveys that you submit to an auditor or regulatory body, and then they evaluate that, and then they do some, you can't, as an independent auditor, always reevaluate everything. So they could maybe spot check some things. So maybe their survey answers were good enough, and the things that were verified were things that passed muster, but then somehow this other system was just a big blind spot.
This very basic hole was right there.
And it's not really the system that bothers me so much as the mindset of what had to put that together, because I have to believe if you have accounts with 123456 username, 123456 password, and then just standard increment based
IDs,
supposedly globally unique IDs on the ways that these things are being tracked. That's not good.
No.
Now, McDonald fell down on their due diligence with this company. So that's not good. But this other company was making promises that surely they are not able to back up.
We worry about security, so you don't have to. The hubris, right? This episode continues with the dumpster fire train. I think we're wrapping it up with kind of an AI dumpster fire of the week, talking about safety in general, yeah?
Yeah, so like you said earlier, I think that this whole episode is a little bit of a dumpster fire, but we'll get into that after we go to the break.